Happy Halloween, everybody! Well, almost. Halloween is my favorite holiday. It always has been. It's the day that you get to dress up in public and be someone different for a change and not feel bad about people staring at you. Well, and every year I play scary games. And you know what? It's getting pretty old. So this year I want to play something themed on a scary game that is not scary. I don't like being scared!
Oh yeah!
Alright, so let's get right into this, and I've actually been meaning to do this for quite some time. Akumajo Special, Boku Dracula Kun. This game was released in 1990 in Japan, and actually was released in October. It was just a fun and interesting platformer made by Konami, and the artwork was very similar to that of the very talented mangaka Akira Toriyama. But just because Boku Dracula Kun looks easy, don't take it for granted. This game is anything but easy. You play as little Dracula, waking up from a long sleep. Dracula-kun wakes up from a long slumber. "Oh goodness me," says Dracula-kun. "I am so very hungry, I could eat an entire village." But he settles for tomato juice. As he sits down in front of his TV to watch all the episodes of Dark Shadows that he missed, a bat flies in through an open window. "Hey, friend," says Dracula-kun. "Nom," says the bat. What the f*** is wrong with you?" asks Dracula-kun. The little bat said nothing but, my squiggly spooge. "I am your king! Why would you attack your king? Answer me, bitch!" asked Dracula-kun. "Garamasso sent me," said the bat. And then he died. "Garamasso? Who the f*** is Garamasso?" asked Dracula-kun. "Hello, Dracula-kun." Dracula-kun looked over at his TV set. "Pleasure to meet you, Dracula-kun. I am Garamasso. I am pleased to see that you are okay. I've been ruling in your stead while you've been asleep, and I have fixed many things that were going wrong with your kingdom." "You are king?" asked Dracula-kun. And with that, Dracula-kun destroyed his television in a fit of rage and set out to destroy the evil Garamasso. Here's the Sorry about that. Here's the controls. The D-pad moves your character around. Pressing down lets you duck. A is jump and B is shoot. Your weapon is a spirit ball, and holding down will actually charge the shot. Pressing up and B at the same time allows you to shoot up. When you get new special attacks, pressing the select button will change between them. When you hit an enemy with a special attack, they'll drop a coin. Collect the coins for special mini-games that you'll play later on. And start pauses the game. Sometimes you can find dropped hearts. Hearts restore 1 life. Flashing hearts restore all your health. And hearts within hearts add 1 to your life bar. Now this is a pretty straightforward platformer in that there's no hidden passages. You pretty much just go from one end of the level to the other in some cases, until you reach the end. The monsters you encounter are totally cute and adorable. The controls are pretty decent, and they feel like Mario 3 in that they're really smooth. The music here is really fun, and the whole game has a very nice soundtrack to it. Now the bosses in this game are very memorable, and just downright silly. But there's one boss that you've probably seen the most online. It's this pair. So, let's talk about them. They're supposed to be ghosts. Yeah, they look like KKK members, but they are supposed to be ghosts. But I think the biggest problem and the concern for a lot of people is the little mark on their foreheads. It's not what you think. The symbol is actually a very old symbol and is found in many cultures all around the world. Greeks, Chinese, Hindus, Native Americans, Celts, many people used it as a symbol of good luck, power, and peace. Here, it's presented as part of the Japanese writing system known as kanji. The kanji it represents means eternity. These are ghosts, and so they'll be spending eternity dead. Hence the symbol. So yeah, it does look bad here, but honestly, it's a baby ghost and a ghost parent with the symbols for eternity on their foreheads. And yeah, there are some people who say that you're defeating the ghosts of two dead clansmen, which would make sense because they are evil and you're defeating evil things. I choose the eternal ghosts idea. Here's a video of a cat trying to get into a boxcar.
Look at him trying to get into the box. He trying to get in the box. Can't get in top. Because it's too big.
Much better. Kitty. And like I said, there are fun little mini games in this title at the end of every stage. The games are always random, and so it doesn't really matter if you know them or not. But they can bring you quite a few free lives, and that's always good. The only Japanese that will make this game difficult to play will be when you face off against the boss of the 5th level, the Statue of Liberty herself. She doesn't like violence, and so she asks you questions on America, Konami, and the game itself too. Get an answer wrong, and you lose a heart. But don't worry, the questions are always in the same order, so just choose answer number 2, answer number 1, and answer number 3, and you'll win. As for the flaws, well, I honestly must say the only flaw is when you get hit, you're bumped backwards for a moment. I really hate it when games do that. But other than that, this is a fun, silly game with lots of enjoyable scenes. And it does have a fairly easy password system so that you can continue onward if you need to take a break. And fighting the bosses is never really tiring or boring. It's certainly challenging, but that's what makes it a good game. Wouldn't be interesting if you could blow right through it. Characters are cute, the gameplay is really fun, and it's accessible for everyone. Well, except for the Statue of Liberty, but you can work around that. In fact, if you don't want to even deal with an FAQ and a Japanese version, you can always get an English patched version that was made and play the game that way. Or if you're more of a purist like me and actually want a physical cart, Retro USB and NES reproductions both sell very sharp looking copies of the game. The Retro USB one is more expensive, but either way, you'll get a good product from both places. So this game is really one that everyone can play. It's totally accessible and fun, and a very good Halloween treat.
You think that you can play this?